All right, team. So today we're out on the absolute mandatory trail to test the bike on in Southern Utah, Gooseberry Mesa. It's afternoon. It's a little bit different for me. I usually ride in the morning, but it's too dark to film, so we're doing this later in the afternoon. Got a couple of morning rides that I didn't film on. We did hit City Creek, do the test track. Bike did great. Actually loved it on that trail. Rode Zen again. So the bike did really good on that trail as well. You see how it does on the tight, twisted stuff out here on these. All right, so I haven't ever actually done this on a full suspension bike. We're gonna see how the Revolver handles it. I'm used to doing it on a hardtail. Ooh, no problem. And this is the fun part. Ew. Yeah, gravity cavity on the Revolver. Woo! As I mentioned, I'm out here in the afternoon and we're gonna have a lot of sun in our eyes. Also not a lot of time to ride. So I probably won't be able to get a whole loop of goose in today. But I think we're gonna get a pretty good feel for this bike is capable. So far it's been awesome. Notes on setup. Like I mentioned in the Zen video, I stopped, moved the brake levers out about an inch, which helped a ton, but it was just not quite far enough that I still wasn't quite hitting the end of the lever with my index finger. So the start of this ride, I moved it another quarter inch out farther to get that set up perfectly. And having that lever, the max amount of leverage, is huge. It really changes the way these brakes feel. You know, dual piston, low end Shimano. If you're really ripping, you're probably still gonna feel underpowered a little bit. But in general, for me, at 140 pounds, it's more or less fixed the issue. And then with suspension setup, as I mentioned in the first video, I set this up to the Ride-A-Line specifications. It felt really stiff. At least the shock feels fine. And I rode it that way for a few rides before I did City Creek. This week I put it down to the rock shock specifications, which took about 10 psi there out of the fork. Still feels really supportive, which I was kind of surprised. I was really worried that it would start to dive, but it hasn't done that. And it does feel better. Still a little stiff for my liking. Usually I end up with 10 or 15% less air than what most fork companies recommend. It's just the way that I like my suspension. So probably let just a little bit more out, but I would at least give them a try. I said the Ride-A-Line settings were pretty much perfect for the rear shock. And the fork felt good other than a little bit too stiff. And I could see if you're doing a lot of maybe flow trails with big doubles where you might be taking bigger hits, but less small hits, the higher pressure would probably be really nice. Just not what we have around here. So I a little bit better air out. So if you decide to purchase one of these, might be something to think about as you set the bike up. Probably heard of the Wall of Death. Less few people know about the Wall of Life. Woo! So we're gonna go a little off trail here. This one is called the Wall of Short-Term Disability. Woo! Just got done riding North Rim. Came down white because I was running out of time, and hit practice loop. Got a couple of the walls in. Beautiful evening. Had a great ride. The Norco Revolver did great. I was a little concerned about coming out here. I struggle a little bit on some of the other bikes that I've tested that have slower free hub bodies on some of the moves out here. I'm either getting used to it or the Revolver did better than I was assuming it would do. The bike also feels a little longer than most of the other bikes that I've ridden, which is one of the reasons it feels so planted and fast. So I was a little worried about some of the tight corners and turns out here, but it did absolutely fantastic. I didn't have any problems at all, no issues. Been very impressed with this bike, especially for the build and parts that come on it. It's very capable, can handle pretty much everything that I've thrown at it so far, and I've thrown a lot at it. Next video up will be the full review, so I'll go through everything with you, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions or anything specific you want me to cover, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching.